Hey everyone, so core development has a lot of different things to look into, and especially when it comes to this idea of using the word tone. Tone is this word that's kind of thrown around to kind of label if we're trying to lose like body fat, or if we're trying to lean out or get fit or anything like that. And tone now kind of has this I guess definition or related towards like body composition stuff. But if we look at tone in terms of muscular contraction, let's say, then tone can either be whether a muscle is too toned or too tight or too stiff. It could be not tone enough, or it could be just the right amount of tone. So when we're looking to tone our abs or anything like that, it's kind of important to figure out if we need to alter our eating habits a little bit more to reduce or to eliminate body fat more, or are we trying to create more muscular growth, so to speak, in the core musculature. And then of course, nutrition can always play a role in developing our muscles better. But there's a few different emphasis that we may want to look into. So if we're trying to develop tone or develop better muscles in the core, we definitely want to look at how the core kind of moves. And of course, we can engage our core in virtually every type of exercise, but for the most part, you can think about how the core rotates, so rotation exercises. You can look at flexion exercises or extension exercises, or even lateral flexion exercises as well. But then on top of that, we look at the opposite, which is essentially the core also prevents movement. So we can look at anti-rotation exercises, anti-flexion, anti-extension, or anti-lateral flexion. And of course, on my channel here, I have a few different exercises that you can look into that give you examples of those exercises or those areas of exercise that I just mentioned. So those are different ways that we can look at challenging our core and challenging our muscles there to develop more tone, or to get them better engaged, or to get better muscles there. And then on the other side, if we look at losing body fat in the core, we'll just keep it very general and kind of look at like the most ideal example and say if we're trying to reach like a six-pack, let's say. And I think this idea of reaching six-pack abs or anything like that, there are certainly a lot of people that may be genetically gifted, that they can kind of eat like whatever they want and get away with anything and still have like a six-pack and everything. But for the most part, many people don't have that gift, let's say. So ultimately, we're looking at figuring a way to improve our eating habits, and it's going to be a ridiculously hard challenge in order to achieve that type of result if we're trying to get shredded abs, let's say. So ultimately, it's going to be a lot of big sacrifices. We're going to end up looking at probably cutting more food out of your eating, if that is an issue for you. But most likely, it's going to be some type of calorie restriction. It's probably going to end up being some sort of diet, like strict diet, that you're going to have to follow, and pretty much there's not going to be any type of cheating that's going to be involved there. There definitely needs to be some sort of healthy balance between cardio exercises or endurance exercises and your strength training exercises. And then of course, we want to make sure that by sticking to our diet, we have to be very careful with the people that we hang out with, or the environment that we put ourselves in. So we may not, our social status, let's say, may end up taking a hit because the more we surround ourselves with tempting foods, let's say, the harder it's going to be. So we are going to have to end up eliminating the foods that are really appealing to us, whether it's the sweets or anything like that. And then of course, figuring out how much body fat that we actually need to lose in order to achieve that result. So while certainly that's a bit of an extreme, not everybody wants to get that kind of result as far as a six-pack ab, but the more results that you want to get, especially when it comes to getting definition in the stomach and everything like that, we're going to have to make more and more sacrifices. So the more shredded you want to be, the more strict you need to be with your exercising and your eating, and you may have to make more sacrifices, and we just want to make sure that you have a realistic kind of idea of how to achieve these results. So I hope this gives you a little bit of insight on improving your core muscles, and of course improving body fat around there too. If you have any questions, let me know.